Hi guys, thanks for watching. I've just been filming a makeup look if you're wondering why. I've got, yeah, not really my usual daytime makeup on. It's a bit of a grey miserable day today, so I thought I'd kind of get my ring light out, put the big light on and do a wee bit of filming once I've finished work. I was doing a clear out of my palettes, and one of the palettes I was looking at was a Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar. So it looks like this, right? And when I was going through my palettes to decide what I wanted to keep, I discovered that the Revolution Salted Caramel bar looked like it was a dupe. Now, I didn't know that when I bought this, but there's a slight difference. How they get away with this? There is a slight difference in that two of the colours are round a different way on the top. So that big one here is the second on the top left there. Every other colour is in exactly the same order. So I thought I would come on and do a dupe, see if it's going to be a spend or a save. Now I know that swatches generally don't always show you how a colour is going to react when you put it on with a brush, but it gives you a general idea. And to be honest with you, some of the colours on this Too Faced palette aren't really that great. You know, some of them I was a bit disappointed in. I can see the difference in some of them already just looking at them, but I thought I would give it a go and do a little dupe video, see which one is kind of, you know, worth buying. Spend your money, save your money. So I will start, what I'll do is I'll do the corresponding colour. So I'll start with the Too Faced one, and then I'll do the corresponding colour from the Makeuprevolution one. So I'm going to go in with this coconut cream. Now, Too Faced smells amazing, right? It just smells like chocolate. I've had it for ages, it still smells like chocolate. The Revolution one doesn't, but hey ho, if you're going to save yourself some money, who cares what it smells like? So I'm going to go in with what is called coconut cream on the Too Faced palette, and so actually probably say it's a bit better on the Revolution palette. Slightly different tones, that one's cooler, that one's a wee bit warmer. So now I'm going to go in with Licorice from the Too Faced palette. So that is a black there we go. Yeah, that is probably going to stain my arms, so I'm going to go in with the corresponding colour. Yeah, it's probably a bit blacker, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go in with Nugget. This lovely colour here, Nugget. And Nugget on the other one. So you can hardly see either of them, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's a bit disappointing. Slightly different shades, Ah, look, got all over my arms. I was doing so well. So I'm going to go in now with Truffled. I love the names. Truffled from the Too Faced palette. And it's not as nice, the Revolution one. It doesn't feel as nice, but I think the colours, you know, they're very similar. Hot Fudge, I'm going to pop up here. Hot Fudge. And Hot Fudge on the other one. So you can see a slight difference, just a slight difference. Hot Fudge and Licorice are kind of similar. The only thing I will say in the Too Faced palette, Hot Fudge is browner than the Revolution one. It's more of a black looking colour to me. So now we go on to this second row here. This is a row that I am not keen on in the Too Faced palette. So let's see how it performs. So we've got Cocoa Chili, Pink Sugar, Pudding, blueberry swirl, peanut butter and frosting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just swatch all of these ones first and then do the next row for that one. So that might be easier. So I will leave a space. So that's cocoa chili. Now I don't know. Oh, duck my fingers in too hard to pink sugar. And look what happens. Yeah, well, it's not a colour really. It's just more like a shimmer. So I'm not really bothered about just destroying that. So we've got pudding here, which feels... There we go. As I say, it's not a palette I really reached for. And I did debate about keeping it or not. This is blueberry swirl, peanut butter, and we have frosting. Frosting's lovely. So frosting, there we go. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colours from the Too Faced palette, second row. And then we're going to go onto this row, which is the second row, and I'm going to just do them side by side. There's a slight difference in the first one in that it's... the second one's more... second one's probably better, I'll show you in a minute. Yeah. I mean, for the difference, you might need to work a little bit harder with the Revolution one. And some of it's not as pigmented. But they're practically identical. So as far as I'm concerned, I already know what my answer will be. So that's your top row here. So your top row, so we've gone from there along, okay? So we've got this one. The Revolution one actually did better. You can see the difference in the Too Faced and the Revolution. There is a much more pigmented colour. This was probably a slightly different shade. This was a darker blue shade. The same with this. It is a darker shade in Too Faced, more pigmented, and these two colours are practically identical. However, if you want a palette that has got those colours, so far I'm saying for the money I'd go for Revolution. You know. Right, okay, I'm going to try and do this bottom row. This is the Too Faced one. And this is the Revolution one. So, I'm going into rum raisin. Right, I'm going to do... I don't know what I'm going to do. Right, I'm going to do it here. And then I'll repeat as I did a minute ago. There we go. As I say, some of these colours for Too Faced, it's like any palette. It was like when I did the Urban Decay dupe for the Makeuprevolution. Some of the colour on the, you know, the branded palettes, you know, the more expensive ones, don't always perform that well. Butter peach, no, butter pecan. I was going to say butter peach. Sounds nice. Right, so that's that row there. Nothing too really spectacular, to be honest with you. As I say, it's not, I don't know why I got it. I think I just fell for the hype. And yes, if you know me, I have been known to do that. It's not as pigmented, but it's still a nice colour. Still very, very similar. Again, not as pigmented, but still a nice colour. This one should be nice. This is more of a... yeah, practically identical. A little bit less depth than that one, but you could build that one up. 1, 2, 3. Going on to this one. So 1, 2, 3. That one, and then that one. Then we're done. Trying to get it there. Again, not as pigmented as most of the colours. have. Oh wow, that one's identical. There is a slight lack of depth in the colours on the Revolution ones. So, you know, you might need to do a little bit of work on it. However, if I had to pick a palette, it would be save or splurge. It would be save. Did this with my Urban Decay Cherry one. Fantastic palette, you know, really good for the money. It's not something that I would use every day anyway. It's not really, there's a lot of browns which probably attracted me to the palette, and I loved the idea of this, a nice chocolatey smelling palette. You know, when you go through phases where it's more, you fall for the hype than the actual palette, because it's no one I really play with, to be honest with you. I've maybe used it a couple of times, swatched it, what have you, but I was glad I discovered. So that's a dupe. So if you're looking for a dupe and you don't want to go and spend however much money these palettes are now, you can probably pick them up cheap enough now second hand. But if you wanted to buy a new palette, given everything that's going on at the moment, if you choose between the semi-sweet chocolate bar or the salted caramel, I would say save your money, go for the salted caramel. It might be a little bit of extra work, but the colours to me, you know, look at the colour of my arm. The colours to me are kind of so little in between them. So anyway, just kind of glad that I did this and that I discovered it. I don't know if I'm going to do one eye with Too Faced chocolate bar and one eye with Makeup Revolution. I might do that just to do a wee bit of a further test for you. But anyway, that's a swatch test. Let me know what you think. Would you be spend or would you be save? Yeah, you might completely disagree. You might have both palettes. You might think one's a fantastic palette over the other. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I'll speak to you soon, guys. Bye.